Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel, I'm ForClassic and welcome to BenchART. So for today what I do have in it is FIFA 21, a game developed by EA Vancouver and EA Romania, and like the usual it is using Frostbite 3, the same engine behind Battlefield games, Need for Speed games, so basically pretty much almost all the games from EA have been using Frostbite 3 throughout this generation, and FIFA 21 it is no different. So before starting, let's take a look on the requirements and see where our GT 740M or 920M kind of places itself against the minimum requirements. So the minimum requirements are a Phantom 2 X4 or an i3 6000 from the 6000 generation, 8 gigs of RAM, and an Nvidia GTX 660 or an AMD Radeon HD 7850. So our GT 740M, it is weaker, and the requirements comparing to the last year are exactly the same aside from the CPU requirements. So I decided to take the tests on the game with the 720p low settings and also median settings using my native resolution, which is 1366 by 768. And the performance that I did got, even with the low settings and 720p, was a performance lower than 60 frames per second. So when I got on the performance side, it was pretty much something in between the 40 to 60 frames per second. It is playable, alright, don't get me wrong, but it is not really the experience that we were expecting. And comparing to last year's performance on FIFA 20, this is pretty much the same thing. So if you were able to play FIFA 20 with no issues and for you it was okay, FIFA 21 it will be the same. So replays also run in between 25 to 30. And if you decide to use the high settings, you can expect the game to be more close to 30 frames per second. I don't recommend it. I do recommend you to stick as much close as possible to 60 frames per second, which is going with low settings, 720p, because by doing this and having a higher frame rate, you can notice that you will be more quicker to respond to passes, to shots, to the goalkeeper. So everything will feel more lightweight and it will feel smoother to respond. So in my opinion, you should really consider to use the low settings, just like I have been using on the predecessor FIFAs. Well, talking about the predecessor FIFAs, the big question is, what the hell did change comparing to FIFA 20? Not really an expert on this question or on this stuff about FIFA, since I'm not really a football player or an EA Sports or Pro Evolution Soccer player, so I honestly don't really know, but from what I have seen, I don't notice too much of a difference. For me it looks pretty much the same, and the performance, it is exactly pretty much the same as last year. That's why the requirements, the recommended requirements are the same, because it performs the same, and the game seems more or less the same. I'm not really sure if the new generation of consoles, the PS5 or the Xbox Series X and Series S, will have a special version of FIFA 21, because every time a new generation of consoles gets released, the PC, it is kind of abandoned and stays with the older version for 1 or 2 years. Only after 2 years or something, it is when the PC catch up with the regular version of the consoles, of the new consoles. I'm not really sure if EA is going to do this again. I have read somewhere that it is exactly what is going to happen. So FIFA, if that is true, FIFA 21, it is a port of PS4 or the Xbox One X, alright? It is not a port from PS5 version or Xbox One Series X, I mean, and Series S, which means that probably those consoles will have a better version than FIFA 21 than what the PC have, but so far this version runs at 4K 60 frames per second. You have new menus, you have the teams updated decently, so you have all these new visual and soundtrack, but essentially what I do feel is that the game, it is more and less the same. But I will leave that for the experts to say, because again, I'm not really a big player of that. It's just I fail to notice any considerable difference between all these games. So as you can see, I'm not actually playing. I put the two CPUs facing each other, so Barcelona are against Real Madrid. So I decided to do this because I'm a noob, and I just decided to put the two bots or the two teams fighting each other using the CPU. So I think it's more interesting since at least at the legendary difficulty, it seems like they know what they are doing.
Griezmann. On to De Jong. Nicely cut out. Messi. Untidy in possession. Possession ceded by the Merengues. Coutinho. The attack promising as it was. Scuppered there. Hazard. Toni Kroos. On to Benzema. Rodrigo. Now Casemiro. Real find themselves in a bit of a keeper making sure that was pushed well away from danger.
So guys, I think that's all that I want to talk about this video. Thank you much for watching, hope you keep enjoying the rest of the game, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
And the match begins. Plenty to consider based on what we've seen so far as the second half begins. Casemiro. This is Sergio Ramos. Eden Hazard. Well, you've got to savour such moments. Casemiro. Well, it's often a case of five-star performances where Lionel Messi is concerned, but not necessarily in this case, Lee.
Well, it's not been a great first half of football as far as he's concerned. He seemed a little bit sluggish to me, Derek. Easy for the back line to pick him up. Needs more movement. Nothing in it, Derek, is there? Just testing each other out. Tactically, it's fascinating. Who will buckle first?
Coutinho. Still on level terms, moving the ball nicely. Messi. Messi! And Varane foiling them. Toni Kroos. It might be perfectly set up for the counter-attack, you know. Benzema. Luka Modric. Showing patience as well as persistence in the build-up. And they could do damage. Lionel Messi. Coutinho. Fati. Now Busquets. Oh, lovely bit of skill. And now Coutinho. Coutinho. An attack full of promise. Well, spot on with that challenge. Karim Benzema. Bodies forward and the break looks on. Benzema. Here's Casemiro. A terrific defending to stop them progressing. Jordi Alba. And he read it superbly. Modric. Now with Benzema. Toni Kroos. And Real's creative tendencies coming to the fore. And return to Benzema. Strongly in, Piqué. Coutinho. Can they do something positive on the counter-attack? Barcelona on the attack in the closing moments. Still ball here. Frenkie de Jong. Now Busquets. Coutinho. Griezmann through ball. Busquets. Well, that's how to do it defensively. Casemiro there. Rodrigo. The ball with Luka Modric. Oh, that's a well-timed pass. The end product just wasn't there. Sergio Busquets. If you're wondering about stoppage time, 1 minute to be added on. Barcelona on the front foot in anticipation of scoring the winner. And there